The phone call came on a Tuesday evening, just as Richard Marshall was reviewing quarterly reports in his corner office overlooking downtown Chicago. At 62, he had built Marshall Industries from nothing, creating jobs for thousands. Yet somehow, the golden light filtering through his windows felt cold that day. "Mr. Marshall," the voice was gentle, professional. "This is Sarah Chen from St. Mary's Hospital. I'm calling about your daughter, Emma." Richard's hand tightened on the phone. Emma, his 28-year-old daughter with the bright blue eyes and stubborn streak, the one who hadn't spoken to him in 3 years, not since that terrible argument about her choices, about the life she wanted to live versus the one he thought she should have. "She's been in an accident, sir," Nurse Chen continued softly. "She's unconscious, and we found your contact information as her emergency contact." The world seemed to pause. Richard stared at the framed photo on his desk. Emma, at 5 years old, pigtails bouncing, sitting on his shoulders at a company picnic. Back when she called him her hero. "I'll be right there," he whispered. The drive to the hospital felt endless. Chicago traffic crawling as memories flooded back. Emma's first steps, her graduation. The day she told him she wanted to be a teacher instead of joining his company. The day she said he cared more about money than people. The day she walked out of his life. At the hospital, Nurse Chen met him in the hallway. She was younger than Emma, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "She was found on Maple Street," she explained gently. "A hit and run, but her injuries aren't life-threatening. She has a concussion and some bruises. She's been drifting in and out of consciousness." Richard's legs felt unsteady. Can I see her?" "Of course. Room 314. The door creaked softly as he entered. There she was. His little girl, though not so little anymore. Her blonde hair spread across the white pillow. A small bandage on her forehead. She looked peaceful, fragile. He pulled a chair close to her bed and sat down slowly, his joints reminding him of his age. How many evenings had he missed? Working late while she did homework alone? How many school plays, birthday parties, quiet moments when she just needed her dad? "Emma," he whispered, reaching for her hand. Her fingers were warm, delicate. "I'm here, sweetheart." "Daddy's here." Hours passed. Richard found himself talking to her, sharing things he'd never said out loud, about how proud he was, how sorry he was, how empty his success felt without her in his life. "I kept your room exactly the same," he admitted, his voice barely audible. "Your mother's garden, too. I hoped, maybe someday you'd come home." As dawn broke through the hospital windows, Emma's eyes fluttered open. Confused at first, then focusing on his face. "Dad?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm here, baby girl. I'm here." Tears slipped down her cheeks. I was coming to see you. I drove into the city yesterday, but I kept losing courage. I was walking around, thinking about what to say." Richard felt his heart break and heal at the same time. "You don't need to say anything." I'm the one who should apologize. I was so focused on what I thought success looked like, I forgot what actually matters. Emma squeezed his hand weakly. "I missed you, Dad. I missed you so much." "I missed you too, sweetheart." "More than you'll ever know." Over the next few days, as Emma recovered, they talked. Really talked. About dreams and disappointments. About the paths we choose and the ones we don't. Richard learned that Emma taught at an inner-city school, that she loved her students, that she'd been recognized for her dedication to children who needed extra care. "I'm proud of you," he told her one afternoon as she sat by the window, golden sunlight catching her hair just like in that old photograph. "Your mother would be proud too." Emma smiled, the first real smile he'd seen from her in years. She always said kindness was more valuable than gold. She was right, Richard said, and for the first time in a long time, he meant it. The accident that could have taken Emma away, instead, brought them back together. Sometimes, Richard would reflect later, it takes a moment of almost losing everything to remember what truly matters, and sometimes the most important calls we receive aren't about business deals or board meetings, but about love and second chances and finding our way back to each other. 6 months later, Richard would step down as CEO, choosing instead to volunteer at Emma's school, reading to children who reminded him every day that success isn't measured in dollars, but in the lives we touch and the love we share. The phone call that changed everything taught him the most valuable lesson of all, that it's never too late to come home.